All right. Everybody, please welcome our friend. I won't even say his name. I'll let him tell you who he is. And when you do that too, please tell us, sir, what were you doing before you even thought about CBP? Here we go.
All right. Hey, everyone. So glad to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Coach Mitch. And yeah, my name is Alex. So just give you a few fun facts about myself. Currently based in central Pennsylvania. And basically, I don't have a background that's exactly related to law enforcement. Yeah, before I even thought about CBP, I've been working in the higher education advising space. So basically, I help high school students from around the world with thinking about how to apply to U.S. universities. And I've been in that space really ever since even before I graduated from college.
Wow.
So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing for a while. But besides that, I love history, I love politics, I love languages, and I've always wanted to serve my country. And eventually, it kind of all came together to this decision to go for CBP and federal law enforcement.
That's awesome. But you were already in a very professional career, obviously. So why the shift? I'm curious, why the shift?
Yeah, I'll take you through it. So
Yeah.
really, ever since I was pretty young, I thought I wanted to serve my country somehow. And I thought about lots of different ways to do it over time. And so, for a while, I thought about the military, and essentially, I thought about that strongly until I got into college. And while I was there, I was really just all over the place, trying to figure out the meaning of life, what I want to do. Really, just went a million different directions, tried a lot of different things, and I guess through all that experience, I ended up getting into the field I'm in now of helping students apply to college. It just kind of fell into place naturally.
Yeah.
Essentially, there are people who, like, I did this as like a side gig at first. People knew I did it, and many people came to me, and I basically made my own business doing this. And
wow,
yeah, and eventually, yeah, after I was doing my own business of that for a while, eventually a company offered me a job of doing the same thing, just with the salary. So I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty nice.
Right, that's smart. I understand.
But yeah, I mean, I guess through that, I really came back to thinking about service pretty recently, and maybe the past 2 years or so. I was really thinking, okay, I'm getting a little older. It's time to really think about it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think of the different things I could do. I looked into, I thought about service in different ways. I looked into politics for a bit. And, I think it's interesting. It's good to participate, I'm the kind of guy who like volunteers for elections. I've done some of that work before. And, it's interesting, and politics is interesting. I mean, all I'll say is we definitely need some more public servants in politics.
Yeah, definitely.
That's for sure. But I don't know. Wasn't too sure about that. And I guess eventually I really thought about law enforcement itself, and thought, okay, maybe there's some roles where I could use my skills. And I thought about it, and I realized that there's some roles at the federal level that could make sense. And as I looked into it, really CBP stood out because I realized, okay, my whole job is just talking to people from around the world all day, and helping with like immigration matters. And I realized that, okay, this actually could be a way to serve and use my skills. I love languages. I learned French, Russian, and Portuguese.
Wow.
I just love it. And yeah, I also kind of saw it like this, like it's with a role like that, you can kind of be in the hot seat of international relations stuff.
Right. Good point. Yes.
Right. And that's cool. And there's so many different roles you could do in it. Really, I'm down for almost anything. There's so many different paths that could be cool. But whether you're stamping passports or inspecting cargo, it's all really like the front seat of, U.S. policy and defense. And so I found that interesting. Over time, I started to find border issues more interesting as well. I never grew up around the border or anything. Yeah. But I just thought that it was kind of interesting. Even just being in airports, I thought, okay, something about it is just really neat. The the U.S. border is right here. How does that work? As soon
Right.
as you come in, it's those issues are it's just so interesting. And
That's
part of it, yeah, too, is just I think the agency is kind of cool. So I was like, now's the time to give it a shot.
that's really insightful. That's why, I always ask you in my coaching program too, why you here, right? But this is why I wanted you here because you really give insightful answers to questions like that. And I don't want to speak for you, but a lot of my clients are like you. They're professionals already. They're probably, what I say, comfortable. They know everything about their career. And then all of a sudden they're in front of me saying, I want to go CBP. I'm always thinking, why? And your why is so strong of a why. It's like, wow, you really cover a lot of bases there as to your why. But let me ask you why this. Okay, now we got
Yes.
CBP, right? We know already. How about why do you think about FBI, Secret Service, Marshals, BP? Why CBP though? Because international function or why?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I thought about it pretty hard, and I would say, the FBI is definitely like another agency really on my radar. I think even my parents at one point were like, "Hey, maybe you should think about it." And I still do for sure, and it could be a path one day. But I guess CBP really drew me first because I really started to see how important the border is itself, and I got really interested in that. There's the I guess there's some international intrigue, or also
Yeah,
too just how hands-on you could be in really defending the country. Like this is where it starts right there,
right.
and I just found that aspect to be like really interesting. And
Yeah,
two, I think that I saw CBP as the perfect stepping stone. Uh, like if I make it and I'm in 20 years, like I'm not sure where I'd go by then, but I know that it seemed like the best place that I could start because there's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Alex. That's a great way to look at it. That's a really healthy way to look at it. Because a lot of people think they'll be done in CBP, but you're talking about going other areas, maybe investigations, maybe who knows, right? I mean, there's so many opportunities there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, really, who knows? But all I know is CBP does so many different things, and I find all of them super cool. So I thought, okay, this is the best place to get started. Like with CBP, but I understand, if you like the investigative stuff, maybe you could join HSI, or if it's immigration stuff, that's interesting. It's kind of the perfect place already. Or if you want to do border patrol, from what I understand, you don't even have to like redo training. It's like
Right.
it's a pretty easy transfer from what I
Correct.
understand. So I just saw it as the perfect stepping stone, and the one agency that had so many things that just really caught my interest. And
Love
yeah,
it, man. Got to talk about family. Okay, so here you are, Alex. You're doing your career, doing your professional career. You know everything about your career. Then you say, I want to go CBP. What did your family say about that transition? I'm curious.
yeah, that's a great thing to think about. Yeah, I'm married. I got married in the end of 2024, and
Nice,
thank you,
nice.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and my wife, loves the idea of being in uniform, for
Ah,
sure. So
okay.
like as for that part, like she's all in. I guess it's really just the location part that is kind of tricky. And like I still don't know what the my duty location would be. If I get in, and that's the only tricky thing. If it was my home state, like Philadelphia, like the port or the airport, no
Yeah,
problem. We'd figure it out. If it's
right.
outside of that, it, it's tricky. I mean, there's definitely a lot more to think about. That'd be the only part that would, make my wife really hesitate. And I mean, me too. There'd be quite a bit to think about.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
so
So,
yeah,
so when you tell us though, she supports you regardless. Is that what you tell us, Alex?
yeah. Basically, there's just a lot to think about there with moving. But I think a lot of days, we both realize, okay, we're down for an adventure. you know, and that's another big part of too of why I like the idea of CVP. I'm really looking for an adventure. Uh,
Awesome.
you know, I my current job it's entirely remote, which
Right,
has its benefits for sure.
right.
But I realized that I'm pretty energetic. Like I wanna be out there, get my hands dirty, and do something a little more face to face.
Yeah,
Uh,
sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. I apologize.
no, that's it.
This is part of the reason I want to interview you, man. Your energy is like contagious. First time I met you, I said, this guy's going to be awesome. I can already envision you doing the job because you really are, I think, a good representation of America when people come from other countries. You know, you're the face and the behavior and the attitude they want to see, you know, professional for sure, but also friendly and presentable. You know, I mean, that's awesome. So let's go down that path too. I want to ask you, like, if people watch this video right now, and I want to ask you, what kind of person do you think CBP needs right now?
Yeah, that's a great thing to think about. I think that CBP needs people from a lot of different backgrounds because they're dealing with some complicated issues, on all fronts. So I believe they need lots of different language skills. For sure, they need some, different like professional backgrounds. For example, let's imagine a port of entry like on the land border, right?
Okay.
You have trucks going through. So I imagine there like someone who, let's say, has done something related to trucking would be valuable. Someone who has this rare language skill could be valuable. But
Yeah.
there's even there's education like me, and I actually through this process I realized that education actually ended up being something that helped me think like a law enforcement officer. Like I've had so many instances where, for example, you learn a thing or two about getting people to follow orders. You learn something about de-escalation in certain cases, especially with like neurodivergent kids. That's something I got some experience with, or even like cross-cultural communication. So with education, I think is something that can help, or especially if there's like cases involving, let's say, human trafficking and kids or stuff like that.
Right.
So just so many different goods and kinds of people are coming through the border that a diverse range of experiences, I'd imagine, is what they could use.
That's awesome because I tell people all the time, they always say to me, do you think I have what it takes? I say, yeah, we can do this. Like you just said, the diverse skill sets help out, of course, right? So, okay, so you're going down the CBP route. Okay, you pass the test, entry test. Before the interview, what did you think CBP, the interview panel, was going to evaluate you on? What did you think before?
Let's see. I mean, let's say before I started coaching with you, and
Yes.
really knew. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So I really had no idea what it was going to be. So I went into it. I'm an optimist, right? So I kind of assumed it was going to be a pretty standard civilian interview. Maybe they'd ask me some kind of scenario, but it'd be pretty easy, right? That's what I was thinking. And then, so yeah, I imagine it basically would be like a standard civilian interview. But then I found Coach Mitch through the YouTube algorithm. Thank the Lord, right? Like I wouldn't have. I don't think I would have passed without your help. But
thank you, man.
Anyway, then I found out that it's actually based on like scenarios, and it's not a like traditional civilian interview.
Right, exactly. And so when you can't give us questions, of course, but what surprised you most? I guess what you can tell us about the interview process. What surprised you? I mean, nothing. No questions, of course, but like, what, if anything, surprised you about the whole process and interview process? What surprised you?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's so interesting is the way I came to see it is that they want to see that you can think and talk like a current CBP officer. Like that's the test, right? And I guess I didn't expect that because, well, I mean, you're starting off as a civilian, in a certain way, how would you know that, right? But actually, it's well, at least through Coach Mitch, I realized that okay, it's doable, even for someone like me who's doesn't have that LEO background.
Right, right. I love that. So I had to ask you for my own coaching program. Do you feel prepared?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like no doubt about it. Yeah. Like I feel super prepared. And yeah, I mean, you've gone above and beyond, to really help. And, even with like next steps, like the the background stuff. Like you can do it all. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, I call the full meal deal. I try to give people the full meal deal, for sure. So tell me, man, when you got the I pass in your portal, who'd you tell? What'd your wife say? What happened here when you got it, man? What did you say?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I said was they already gave you the result like that soon. It was crazy. It was less than 24 hours. Like it was so quick. Which that's the funny thing about this hiring process. Like some things take a super long time that you just hear nothing about.
Right.
When you're going to schedule this thing or that thing. I still have heard absolutely nothing about the physical test, for example. Right, and then with stuff like that, it's like already passed. It's like. But I do it one day, then next day, like in the afternoon, it's already there. So that was the first thing. But then I was also like, I guess in a way, I was super happy, super excited, but in a way not too surprised because I just felt so prepared.
Yes, thank you, man. You're a smart guy already. It was great working with you, man. I enjoyed that, But I gotta tell you guys something special about Alex because of his career he has now. Poor guy. In the SF-86, if you have foreign contacts, you have to list them. Alex, tell us how many you have to list in your SF-86.
Oh, it's easily going to be like 120. It's going to be ridiculous. I think because like every student basically is going to be a foreign contact. On top of that, like I got just other foreign contacts. My mom's from the UK, so that actually like a dual citizen and have like all these other foreign contacts. So it's going to be interesting filling it out. Like I'm working a bit on it now, and I made a spreadsheet. Like it's so big the document can't even hold all the stuff.
That's you guys can't complain. When I hear you guys complain about your SF-86, let's say, remember Alex? Yeah, a lot. I got a little taste of that because my wife too is from another country, so I had to do a different process, but it was pretty rough, for sure. It's rough. Alex, through the interview process, did you feel like, I know the professionals, did you feel like they were going to pass you? Did you feel positive in the interview process too? I mean, they don't tell you a whole lot, I know, but did you feel that way at all? Or
I would say by the end, because they of course they try to be, they have the poker face and all that, but by the end of it, especially when I set a line that you coach us on. They actually both the officers actually seem to smile and they're like, "Oh, excellent. Okay, yeah, thank you so much." Like I felt the shift at the end, so I felt pretty good about that.
I love that, man, and I love that a lot. Now you can't tell the exact time, but I'm telling everybody it's like less than 20 minutes. Is that right or wrong? Don't tell me the exact time, but
Oh yeah, no, that was right. It really was super quick. Like it was 20 minutes in total, but even then, like quite a bit of that time was just them saying the questions and going over tech stuff. So really, the actual interview itself is just maybe half that time. It's really a short thing.
Right, that's right, and also too, I'm learning the more competent you are, the faster it goes, of course, But that's awesome, man. So I got to ask you, when you did the interview, when you went through the interview, and when you got done, and you left the Zoom, whatever, and you sit there by yourself for a minute or two, how did you feel about the whole process? How did you feel about this career still? What was in your mind? The first thing to your mind was all done. You're sitting there thinking about stuff. What is in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing was that I felt like I did my best, and that's the most important thing. That's how I'm going through this process. I just want to do my best. And another thing too is, it was something that I worked hard for, and I felt like I did my best through it. And I think with a lot of my career, it wasn't so intentional, but with this interview and the prep I did with you, it really was this intentional battle I was preparing for. So I felt good about it because of that. Like no matter what happened, I felt good, and I felt like I learned something, like gain more perseverance. But also too, like in a way, it was kind of surreal. Like I was doing a kind of interview like that months ago. I just wasn't prepared for, right? And I felt like I was coming closer to making this dream come true.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, okay, I really, was kind of talking like a law enforcement officer. And I even had the the kind of clothing you recommend we wear, like, so I was even looking like one too, and it's like, wow, okay, like this is kind of surreal, and yeah, even I just remember like seeing the officers too, one of them in the background is a big Texan flag, and it's like, wow, this is real, they're actually like at the border,
Exactly. It's awesome, man. It's an awesome way to say it for sure. Okay, so I'm a guy. I turn on my YouTube. I look at Alex up here. I'm a new guy. Say I'm a teacher. And by the way, we've had 18 teachers last year and 3 so far this year already. But say I'm a teacher and I want to get into CBP. Give me some advice, Alex. Tell me what is it about? Why should I go for CBP?
Yeah. So, I mean, one reason is that you already may have a lot of skills that could translate pretty well. And this is what I found through going through coaching. So before, when you start coaching with Coach Mitch, he'll do like kind of a dry run of a couple interview questions. And, I knew this because you had some YouTube video where you talked about that. So I came into our first session expecting that, but I was thinking that, oh no, like I wasn't prepared at all. Like, I'll do my best, give some answers, but he's probably going to say, that's good, but we have a lot to work on. But actually, I came into it, and I was shocked when you said, actually, that was pretty good already. Even though I thought I was really far off just based on my experience and everything, I guess there was quite a few things that just translated well. Of course, I had plenty to work on, but still, that was a surprise. Or even the fact that they accepted my resume. I wasn't 100% sure about it, right? Like,
that's a great point.
Yeah, like I mean, that was it's like the first step, right? I wasn't even 100% sure about that, but they took it, and I think too, even with the entrance exams, like certainly things you learn in education help with those. So yeah, that's one big takeaway. Like you may be more prepared than you expect, and you can have more confidence in yourself than you might actually have, because this is a big thing. Like with my background, wasn't so sure, if I really was kind of, I don't know, like how hard this would be. And it takes effort, but I was a bit more prepared than I expected, I guess. So that's one thing. Then another thing with education could be I'd say really like study CBP as an organization. Like there's so many cool things that they do.
Yeah, great advice, Alex. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, and like just really look into the different rules they have and the history. And I think what you can find is like there's a lot that might interest you. Another thing you could do is try to watch some documentaries where they show you what CBP officers do. Like the Nat Geo has one that's really good. It's like it's something like To Catch a Smuggler. So that they just like film CBP officers doing their thing in all these different locations. And I think by watching that, you can see that like okay, you could do this too. And also, wow, I didn't know they do that. That's really cool.
Right.
So definitely recommend just watching that, doing your research. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's great advice too, because I get people all the time, Alex. They come to me, do it for 7 years now, right? I get these built-in self-doubt type people, until the first interview, and then we do the critique, right? Then people feel like, oh my gosh, maybe I can do this, And right? Because I get this doubt first in me. Well, maybe I can do it. But you were a shining example of someone. You're very positive already. You're a very smart guy. I knew we could do it, but not everybody I meet is like you. A lot of people don't have the same confidence, So hearing from you, I think it's a nicer, another voice say what I'm saying, kind of, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. See, and so, okay, so let's say you get past everything, which you will, of course. When they look at you a year from now, right? If I see you in uniform, whatever, what kind of CBP officer do you want to be? I should be when I encounter you as a traveler. What kind of persona do you want to exude to me to experience with you?
Yeah, that's that's something I try and imagine. So I'd say I'd want to be professional and have that law enforcement. I guess you could say neutrality. Like you have a face where it's not negative or positive. It's not overreacting or underreacting. It's just like calm observation. And that's one thing I'd want to do. And another thing is to just, remain calm and steady in my reactions to different situations.
Yes.
That's because I realize that, that's a big part of the role, right? De-escalating, staying calm even when there's chaos. That's
right.
something I'd like to do. That's actually part of why, like, I was drawn to a role like this. I realized that I enjoy doing it in a way I might be good at it sometimes. So yeah, like that's definitely something I want to exude. Another thing too is just, like a commitment and passion
Yeah.
for wearing the uniform.
I love that, man. That's awesome. It's really great. Last thing I want to ask, couple things I want to ask you last is that you the badge. What does that mean to you, the badge?
And so the badge means that it's an opportunity to serve my country. And that's something that I really want because, my country's done so much for me. I love this nation. And especially a CBP badge would mean that I'd get to, serve the country in, a way that's kind of personal because, my mom, is an immigrant, right?
Yeah.
And so that's another thing that really made me think about CBP. And, because of that, like I want to, keep the borders safe. I want to make sure that, we're preventing things like, let's say, like, immigration violations, right? Because so that way we have more room for stories like my mom's, or
Right.
and the badge would also just be the adventure of a lifetime. That's how I'd see it.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I'll tell you, man. I wore the badge in the military for many years too, and did both. Anyway, but what for me, I'm older now. I miss those days. You seem like somebody who's going to embrace every day the uniform and the badge. I like your attitude because sometimes when I wore the uniform, I didn't realize how fortunate I was. You know what I mean? I kind of forgot those days. But you really tend to embrace this whole behavior and the attitude and the professionalism. I love that part for sure. I want to ask you one last time before you go, Alex. People who are in doubt, just give me a couple things. People who are in doubt about this, just a couple things, couple advice from Alex. If I'm not sure, I'm really not insecure about myself, and I'm not sure. Give me a couple words of advice for this career.
Yeah, I definitely got some. So first, I'd say that you can start out by just trying to test yourself and ease into certain things. So one thing was the physical part, right? And I mean, CBP is not too bad with it, but I'm still a little bit, I guess intimidated. For a long time, I've been a pretty scrawny guy. I've had a tough time really getting into good physical habits.
Sure.
So at the beginning of last year, or the beginning of this year, so I really prioritized just trying to get into fitness. I saw that as the first step. Thinking, okay, if I can get somewhere with fitness, make it a habit, then I think I can get somewhere with this LEO path. And I was able to do it. I ended up getting like a virtual fitness coach in this app called Trainwell. Like it was, so it worked for me. I mean, there's lots of different things that could work for you, but I think the goal is, no matter where you are with fitness, no matter where you're starting, you can do it. You just have to get some habits and probably some accountability. Like I couldn't do it on my own, but with even just like a little bit of coaching, I'm at the point where I enjoy workouts. Like if I can't do it for a while, I miss it. It's like, I want to do this,
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So
it's like a healthy addiction kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it. Like I'll really want to do it if it's been a while. So like
First step. Okay. Gotcha.
That's a good first step. Like, if you're coming from a background where you're not doing a lot of physical stuff, start somewhere. Just do like whole body workouts. Do something in the gym. Make it a habit, and you'll see that you can do it.
Good first step. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a good first step. And then another thing to keep in mind is that you might have, as I was saying before, you might have more applicable experience and skills than you think, right? So like,
good. Yeah, that's a great.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah. Like, I really was not sure if my skills were super relevant. I mean, I thought, okay, it's kind of related, right? Like, I do stuff with international students, like immigration could kind of be related, but also I volunteer on my church's security team. So it's not really law enforcement experience, but it's something, right?
Yes.
you
Yes.
know, and there's a few other things that I've done too, where it's like, okay, I could see it kind of being related, but I don't know. Like, I certainly didn't think I'd be ready for the practice questions it threw at me in the first session.
Right.
And, still had some room to improve, but it was better than I expected.
Yeah.
I was
Right.
shocked at,
Yeah.
at that it wasn't totally off base. And that's a big word of advice. Like, you already this might be easier than you think. You might have more relevant experience than you think. So just go for it.
Right on.
Just go for it.
That's a great attitude, man. That's an awesome attitude because I don't want people to waste their talent if they have talent for law enforcement for keeping the country safe. I hate to see people like you, Alex. Your career is great right now. I know it's great. I know a little bit about it before you told me. So a lot of folks who had your career could sit there for 20, 30 years and be happy, but you said no, I want this instead. And that takes a lot of, I'm sorry, courage is the word I can use. You're married now, you get your wife now, but you still say, you know what, I want to do this. And she said, okay, let's go for it. I commend people like you to go down that path anyway and say, you know what, I'm going to do this. Not try it. You said you're going to do it. So I like your attitude there too. You're going to do this.
Yeah. I'm
Love
gonna
it.
do it, and if I don't make it, it's okay. There's other paths, like maybe other federal law enforcement, local law enforcement, or wherever God leads me. I'll find a way. But
You're going to make it. Don't worry about you. All my guys on my list here, you're the last guy I worry about. I know you're going to make it, man.
Thank you.
Definitely. Alex, I want to tell you, thank you for giving us a half hour of your time. I know you're a busy guy. And you guys, I want you to know, Alex was awesome from day one. I really wanted to interview him so bad. It took like a week to get this thing arranged, but he's a voice I want you guys to hear. He's a perfect guy to tell you about what this is about and what you got to have for your mindset. He's a perfect voice of reasoning for CBP processes. Alex, anything last to tell us at all? Last thing for you at all, my friend?
The last thing is just, if you're thinking about a career in federal law enforcement, no matter what your background is, I'd say just go for it.
Yes,
Because
that's right. Yes.
you could do it. Like, if I could do it, and if I could make it this far in the process, I think that anyone with some determination can do it too.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, man. Thank you. Alex, we want to say thank you for your time today, my friend.
Of course. Hey, thank you so much, Coach Vetch. And again, thanks for all the help you've given me.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Hang on one second.